Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stu and the Nun. I think I'm broadcasting. Actually, I did not do my other setup. I had a couple guests fall through tonight, and I guess I haven't forgot. And I had a guest host fall through, but I have one that's joining me late, so that's okay. Give me 1 second. As I get through what I have to get my AV set up here. So getting my thing set up. Anyways, welcome everyone. This is episode, I think I said it was 339, I believe. So got that going up. And here we are. All right, just getting all my got my stuff in order. Okay. So I got Wolf is going to join me here in a few minutes. I was able to get hold of him right before the show, but hey, big show. Here we are. September 5th, August is over. Kids are going back to school in the North. I think in the South, they've already been back to school for probably about 2 or 3 weeks, but in the Northeast, they pretty much all go back around, right after a day or two after Labor Day. So that's where we are now. So here we are in September. Summer's winding down. The last big summer weekend is ended. Well, you would think we were already in October if you walked into a Home Depot or Lowe's, because I think they've had up Halloween decorations since July. So as far as they're concerned, it's already Halloween. But yeah, we are walking into that time of year of September and getting back to things in schools and playing taxis for the kids, and then on into October, which is Columbus Day, a holiday only the banks and the federal government recognize, and then Halloween, and which comes right into my favorite time of the year, hunting season, not the holidays. So here we go. What's coming on now? Oh, I hear myself. Just so you
Hey,
know.
guys, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear myself too. So I'm coming over your mic from your speakers.
Let me see if maybe I pump mine down a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me so late, man. I appreciate it.
No worries,
I thought I
man.
was going to be here solo just talking to myself.
All I do is put some pants on and see what I could do.
The pants are optional as long as the camera stays up. I'm just saying. Those are just what you need. But anyways, good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. You have been a busy cat on the road. We'll get to some of that.
Yep.
And all that. I see that nice little I see a few pieces of artwork there added to the wall behind you.
That's that new additions. That's true.
Yeah, I see the Trump Vance sign. And it looks like a picture of President Trump to the left of it that I don't remember from before.
And I've got some sign from the Milwaukee there, and another one right here from the Milwaukee RNC event that I work logistics on.
Yeah. We've been working a couple things here and there. Just you're always the man behind the camera, man behind the scenes.
It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and keeps me close to everything that's going on. So kind of in the know, and I've actually been learning a lot of new stuff. And my time as protocol officer for the Iraq War has come to help me in spades here.
Oh, I can imagine it has. So well, good. Well, we got a lot of things to cover. First thing I want to hit on is a phenomenal fundraiser being done by our friends over at Hero Labradors, our buddy Chuck Z. I'm putting the link up in the chat. But I mean, Chuck has a great raffle going on called Sawbucks for Service Dogs, and he is raffling off a brand new Sig Sauer We the People 45, custom 45 in a box case, and comes with extra mag and all that.
It's gorgeous.
Yes. And that's enough, right? That got me right there. I bought my tickets. But he also, you get a dove hunting trip for 4 to the Sierra Bravo Lodge in Cordoba, Argentina. So You get a brand new 45, which not sure if you can take that to Argentina with you or not, but brand new custom We the People 45 and a dove hunting trip for 4, not 2, not 1, but 4 in Argentina. And tickets aren't that bad. $10 a piece. I think is he limiting the total number? I thought for some reason I thought he was. But yeah. Drawing is Veterans Day, November 11th this year. Veterans Day. $10 gets you that. $100 gets you 11. You get a free ticket for $100 to win a gorgeous 45. Since it's a SIG, it's probably about $800-900 itself, I would imagine. And then a hunting trip for 4 to Argentina. Not a place a lot of people commonly run to go hunting or things they do. So that's probably a once in a lifetime hunt. I know I've got my tickets. I don't know about you, Wolf, but yeah, I'm running and gunning for
great steaks. Great steaks down there. That is good cattle country. Some great food while you're down there. So I'm sure it's going to be a really good time.
Can you go Nazi hunting while you're down there? Can you do that? Because I got some Nazis down there. Nobody likes Nazis. I mean, I could turn into like
Nazis, don't like them especially.
Yeah, I could turn into some Inglorious Bastards down there. We could, Tim and Dr. Mike Simpson and those guys have been down there doing the hunting Hitler. I bet I could grab them and we could turn Tim into the new the Bear Jew. And we could go down there hunting some Nazis or hunting doves, either one. So maybe I'd make those guys 2 of my 4. I don't know if I win. But anyways, check that out. Hero Labradors and the Hero Academy. Great fundraiser. Check out those tickets. They need your support and help. If you don't know what Hero Labradors does, you haven't been watching the show for a while. Great nonprofit. Chuck breeds and raises purebred Labradors and gives and incurs all the costs for that to raise them, to send them to training facilities to be given to service to vets for free as service animals. No charge to them. These are top quality dogs, and it is done with heart and passion to make that happen. So
might be time to have Chuck come on for a quick visit sometime soon.
I think I need to get him on. Yeah, I think I probably should line him up in the next week or 2, and get him on and talk about this some more for sure. But we ain't had him on for a while, and he's always good for a laugh. That is for sure.
Does he have any puppies? It would be great if he could. Who's going to turn away cuddly little puppies on the show? That would be, phenomenal.
That's right. When he's come by and visited the house and he pulls up in that puppy picture wrapped van, the single girls just come running down the street towards my house. Probably some of the married ones too. I don't know. I just know a lot of neighbors I never meet come out of the woodwork to come see the ring of puppies he usually puts in my yard. And if I walk away and come back for a second, there's people I don't know in my backyard, like playing with puppies. I'm like, I don't even know these people. They've never talked to me in a day. And all of a sudden they're in my backyard with blonde little puppies in their laps. But anyways, yeah. So how have you been? What have you been up to?
Mostly been working on the campaign stuff, and just as I mentioned, I got back from the RNC where I did logistics there. Unbelievable event, as many of people may have seen it or heard about it. I was there for about 7 weeks, working behind the scenes to put on the show and running around the facility there. I had a great time in Milwaukee, surprisingly, Blue City, but we were, welcome open arms by some, a lot of the local establishments. Made some great friends up there. I was very surprised at how clean Milwaukee is compared to some other places. I mean, yeah, they've got a couple of less desirable areas, but for the most part, all the areas I went through, all through the city, unbelievably spotless. And it wasn't just for show for the RNC. You could tell that this is the status quo. Great facility. The stadium that the Bucks have up there is nearly new. It's only a few years old. Great place to have the show. And then recently I've been doing some events, rallies and things for the candidates. And I can't talk too much about that, but if you come to one of the events, one of the rallies or the speaking opportunities or the messaging events, you're likely to see me somewhere in the background. So that's sort of my new project for now.
You're cutting. Yeah, you're cutting it out to me a little bit, but it may be my internet. I'm shutting some stuff down. But yeah, you're kind of in the background a little bit for sure. Um and doing your thing. But you're kind of bouncing around here and there and showing up at different events, right? And just helping,
Yep,
make that
yep,
happen.
yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Last one I was up in Big
No, that
Rapids, Michigan, with Senator Vance, and that was his first outdoor rally. That was a real learning event. I'd never done anything like that. And some great people up there too. Met some fantastic people up there. Um, and Ferris State University up there. Decent looking place.
yeah. The No, that's awesome with him, and I imagine security is probably obviously not going to go into details, taken in a little bit more seriously than it was a couple months ago, even with the vice president's
I
appointment.
can say this about security. Um, they are out and proud right now with a lot of it. They want to be seen that they are there. They were more obvious on this one. You didn't have to look; they were there. And I'm talking about the big stuff. And they wanted people to realize they're there. And it was pretty amazing. I've done a
Hopefully
lot
they
of
picked up a couple. Hopefully they picked up a couple drones on Amazon or something. They had some drones up and yeah,
I
did
didn't see
something.
any
But
drones up there. Kind of surprised. No drones that I could aware
they're
of.
probably stealth drones. I bet they got some stealthy drones that kind of look like the sky, have no flashing lights. I bet you they had some stuff. Could have had a Reaper up there. Who knows? But who knows? Could have been way up there. But yeah, that's
As I
good. That's
understand it,
good.
that stuff's
No,
illegal to fly in the United States for any reason.
what is?
For the U.S. government to operate a drone, because during Katrina, we weren't allowed to run them. That was
No,
a
the government doesn't. The military, the government, law enforcement agencies do. I mean, the DHS has them. I mean, every local law enforcement has them because it's cheaper than running helicopters and all that stuff now. There's government agencies that run it all over the place, and I know they're running them on the borders. Um,
Yes, they can run them
you
on the
know,
borders because they're looking south or north, whatever. Um, but to use them against
you
American
know,
citizens,
yeah, you're right. The government's never like gotten unwarranted, wiretappings or FISA court tap. Yeah, I know. What was I thinking? There's no way that's ever happening. Um, the government would never spy on its own people. Um, doesn't mean they don't use big tech to do it for them, right? Or doesn't mean that they don't use other intelligence agents from other countries to spy on us for them and us for and them for us. There's all kind of ways to get around that, right? It's like telling a kid they can't go out at night. They're going to find a way to go out, have a fake ID, and drink all they want, even if they live under a preacher's roof, right? Someone's going to figure out how to do it.
it's
But
illegal to cross the
yeah,
border, but somehow they seem
hey,
to
well,
help them do it.
that's true. It is illegal. That is considered a crime. But yeah, so no, you've been busy. That's good stuff. Great seeing it, man. I'm President Trump's been out there doing interviews, everyone and anyone. Did one with a podcast yesterday. I saw that or day before yesterday, and I was like, Stu and the Nuns in the game. I gotta work this. I mean, man, I can't imagine. I mean, I thought Donald Rumsfeld was a big guest to have, but boy, if I
You
could
need to
get
go hit
DK2,
Barron. You need to go hit Barron's social media sites because he's the one that's finding and picking a lot of these.
Barron Trump.
Barron Trumps. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in his genre of what he's looking for,
What
but
he's looking for. Right.
yeah, I need to hit up JD or somebody. But I just salivate at the thought of having one of them on. I'd probably put on a collared shirt, maybe dress up, maybe even not wear a ball cap or something. It would maybe when I drink my beer, I'd hold my pinky up. Oh.
But would you wear a tie?
Get all fancy, but no, I may well put on a sport coat and a shirt. I could do. I do dress up all right. I do clean up pretty good. My wife keeps me make sure I know how to dress. She puts the granimals together, right? She's like this tie with this jacket. Don't wear this, Yeah, granimals. There, I dated myself, but yeah. Hey, a lot of things going on, man. Man, today was a day of flipping news. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I know where I'm going to start when that's with the sad news of this shooting yesterday in Georgia, about an hour outside of Atlanta. Obviously, still policing up what's happening, but a couple disturbing things. We had a shooting here a couple years ago in Buffalo at the Tops grocery store, very racially charged shooting. It was not far from here, a store that I've been in before, and a very disturbed young man that had made threats against his school the year prior, and then still, had access to guns from his parents and drove all the way here and killed a whole bunch of people based on their race. So now we got a young man who's going to be charged as an adult, who apparently was obsessed with the Parkland massacre and had made threats and was, like so many others, was on the FBI's watch list. And they interviewed him last year, and they interviewed his father, and his father said, "Yes, I have hunting guns, but I don't. But he doesn't have access to them." Woof. Now it's coming out that his father bought him an AR for Christmas. Well, after he had made threats against his school and got interviewed by the FBI. The tops thing happened when they went and New York State troopers interviewed him, the young man who did it. They failed to follow up and made sure he got counseling. They also did not tell the local police that they had even interviewed him. He made the threats. There was a complete breakdown in that. Like, they interviewed him and left and never had follow up.
But sounds like it happened on this one too.
Well, this one, the FBI did talk to the family. The family knew, the school knew, yet somehow the father still bought him a rifle. And now the father has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder himself. And I think it is 100% justifiable, for sure. What are your thoughts on this?
There's a lot about the father part of it. That one's going to be the tricky part. The kid, I have a feeling they'll end up pleading guilty on that one. Maybe mentally deficient or something like that. It's really sad how this is going to come off. I don't know how they're going to do this with the father unless the father was defiant or in some way shown that he had no remorse for what he's done or had no, encouraged his kid in the wrong way, not to do the event, but just the way he taught his kid or whatever. Something led to do this so quickly behind the event. Normally, when they do something that with parents or something like that, that takes weeks and weeks for them to build the case. There's something here that has built this up right away. It's disturbing.
Well, I think the buying of the rifle for an underage youth that had expressed threats and violence is what. Remember, and there's also been a precedent set now, right? I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know if Rob is on, but the mother and father in, was it Ohio, I think, or Iowa, where the kid went in and shot up, and they charged the mother and father also, because the mother and father were trying to text him and hope it's not you and hide the gun and whatever all the stuff they did last year. So they've set a precedence now, and I think that was the first time that they charged and convicted parents for a crime like that their child made. So maybe that has to do with it. But in addition to that the fact that he bought the gun for this kid makes him pretty damn complicit, it seems like. I'm not a lawyer, but man, it seems like it's me. It's almost like an accessory to murder.
Especially if he used that particular gun to do this.
Well, he used an AR style. He used a tactical rifle. So the father said he only had hunting guns when they interviewed him. So not that you can't hunt with them. I know people that do. But the way that at least the news carried it, and you got to take that for what it's worth. I mean, it made it sound like he probably wasn't, he probably didn't have a tactical one himself, but to buy one for the kid after you knew he had expressed these kind of tendencies, is something else. And yeah, that father should be held 100% accountable for the actions of that young man.
Yep.
But yeah, very, very sad thing. I mean, something that was 100% preventable. And like a lot of things, it starts at the house. So the troops, those FBI knew, they interviewed and they notified everyone, all this stuff. They talked to the father. It wasn't like they hid it from the father. It wasn't like the kid was transgender transitioning where they hide it from the parents. They told him. And he still went out and did this and did not keep a sharp eye. I mean,
was this kid like a transitioner or anything like that? Was he in one of those?
Well, like every other one has been. I don't know that this one is. Not sure what the
or gay,
what the
like Parkland, something like that.
Dude, Parkland, Nashville, you name it, they have all been usually trans or want to be trans or using pronouns or whatever, to the point where it's almost 100%. So if this young man isn't, then that's going to be the first one in a while that wasn't. Speaking of Nashville, did you see that they came out? I think it was the Tennessean or whatever the Tennessee paper is. They released the entire manifesto.
Yep.
One that the
Just
FBI,
as bad as we expected.
Yeah, there were parts of it that were leaked out, but now that's officially they published. I want to say it was 93 pages or something, completely published. Yeah, was a complete whack job. Confused about the gender identity crisis, hated hated his whatever it was father, hated religion, blah blah blah. Was a whack job. I mean, it was off the rocker. Whether it's nothing tied to being transitioning or whatever. I mean, could have been mentally deficient well before she decided what it wanted to be. But that is all out there now. Of course, it's way after the fact, so it's going to be, and we're in a whole different type of news cycle. Not sure it's going to get much of attention, but yeah, it is out there. Yeah, it's I don't know. They're supporting whatever. I mean, obviously the politicians came out today, especially on the left, actually yesterday, blaming guns, blaming this, blaming that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. But
a point that somebody made online today was that they weren't calling for gun control after Trump got shot as much. You didn't hear all the screeching about that. Not like
that's a good point. You know what I heard? People wishing that the guy was a better shot.
Yep.
And sadly, that was not just what I heard in the media from someone I don't know disconnected. There are people I know close to me. There are people I know personally that had shit like that said in their presence.
Yep.
And at get-togethers. Some are families. Some are farther, or just people I know through my associations, but enough that I was thinking, oh, this isn't just one or two people like someone said online, because we saw some of that. If I'm hearing it in my circles, which are not big, then that means it's got to be replicated across. But that's what you heard, was people wishing that the shooter had not missed, was a better shot, whatever, blah blah blah, which is vile and disgusting. But you're right. I did not think about that. You did not hear about President Biden didn't go to the microphone saying that, we need better gun control. Sure didn't. Never even put that 2 and 2 together. Wow. It's that's I guess that's enlightening in itself, but when you bring it to the forefront and think about it, what that means. But yeah, we had another big news thing today too.
Hit me.
Well, what's that?
I said, hit me. I'm waiting. What you got? What's the next one up?
Yeah, well, I think the big one is Hunter Biden. Walked into court today and shocked the entire Department of Justice, government lawyers, and the whole courtroom when he pled guilty to all 9 tax charges. And I think it was 3. Was it 3 felonies?
Well, I think there's 9 in all. 9 charges in all.
Yeah, I think it was 9 in all. I want to say it was 3 felonies and 6 misdemeanors. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, 3 felonies, 6 misdemeanors, about the 1.4 million in unpaid taxes, and you know, it shocked everyone. No one saw it coming. I mean, today was start of a jury selection, and to have that come right out the gate, and apparently his reasoning was he didn't want to subject his family to any more pain or embarrassment to that. I mean, any more than you've already. I mean, interesting. He said that. I guess he thought, hey, if I do this, it's not gonna nothing else, which I could get right. They would not drag out over the next several months every whore, prostitute, crack cocaine deal, nakedness, whatever, binge, drunken stupor. But the judge still made them read through everything today. So
did I read somewhere about
what's
2 hours
interesting
ago that
is
the judge wasn't going to accept the plea deal? I thought that made a headline in a couple of
no,
news places.
the, the,
Um,
no, the attorneys didn't. The federal attorneys did not want to accept it, so it shocked them. And they said that they did not know if they wanted to accept this, and the judge said the federal government doesn't have a choice in it. They don't have a vote in that matter. Um, so I was like, oh, okay. So now the DOJ attorneys are all trying to review what their next options are, what they can do. Is that true? But even when the judge did it, and I was listening to some of the back and forth today, that even though the judge did it, he wasn't going to let it all like not be said. So he made, I think he called it an open whatever confession or whatever. So he made them, they had to read out like everything, all the details, all the money, where it went, the hookers, the blow, the binge partying with Russians, blah blah blah, and Ukrainians and everything else, and more hookers and more hookers. So he made him read it all out, put it on record, and they've set the December 16th as the sentencing date. But apparently, Department of Justice attorneys are still reviewing if they have some options here. They weren't ready to accept it.
right.
I mean, and
I think what I found out just now is that from one of his previous trials last year, there was that it popped into the news feed and then it disappeared. It's gone from that news feed. So I think somebody mistakenly posted that one up. So you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So they made him read it all out, and it's all out there now. And he pleaded guilty, and the judge made him go under oath and say, "Look, you've given up your right to free, privacy, staying silent, and this is what you're doing." Yeah, and he made him plead guilty to all 9 charges. It wasn't just yes for all of them. He made him do each one. So, of course, immediately some of the people went back to the administration, and were like, can you still say that the president's not going to pardon him? And they were like, yeah, it's no change. He's not going to pardon him. But honestly, I mean, the guy stood there on a Monday night at the DNC and said he's not done yet, and he's going to spend the next 5 months working hard. And he went 2 weeks of vacation. So I believe what Joe Biden says about as far as I could throw him. I mean, he's on his way out. He's a lame duck. He was ambushed and had a coup d'etat by his own party. They pretty much shoved him out the door. It really was a bloodless coup. I've even heard reports that, he endorsed Kamala because he knew the Democratic establishment didn't want her and they were going to try to do an open convention. And that's why he didn't do it right away. But then when he realized that they didn't want her, he endorsed her, which pretty much guaranteed. And he did that as a big FU to the Clintons and the Obamas and to the DNC establishment, to Pelosi. So what skin is it off his nose if he says, no, I'm not going to pardon him, and then just says, oh, I'm pardoning him? What are you going to do? F you. I mean, they can't stop him. He's still the president. He could do it on the 19th. Hell, he could do it on the morning of the 20th.
Yep.
And he could pardon him. And they're going to say, all they can do is, oh, you said you wouldn't? Oh, well, I changed my mind. It's my son. So I think part of this is the administration and or the campaign and them did not want this dragged out and just, that much worse, run the name through the mud. But at the same time, somebody had to tell him, oh, dad had to call him, give him a little wink, wink, and say, yeah, I got you. Don't worry. Just let it go through. It's going to happen. You won't serve a day, right? They're not sentencing to the 16th. They'll probably get a delayed, showing up to prison. I bet he'll probably never serve one day. He'll probably get pardoned well before. And
now I think he can't pardon him until the sentencing is done, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you can pardon them once they are convicted, and he is convicted. Yeah. But they probably won't do it before the election because they know they'd piss off a lot of people, especially those on the fence. Is like, oh, look at this is the old crony establishment, right, and that kind of stuff. And he lied, and obviously Kamala's tied tight to him. I would, conveniently it's December 16th, so it's well after the election is over. And if Kamala loses, like God, I hope she does. Then it's who cares, and he can do it anytime after that, and he'll do it probably before Hunter ever steps into the threshold of a prison cell. But yeah, it's now he still has to get his sentencing, I believe, for the gun charges. So that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, it doesn't mean other stuff isn't coming too. But for these, yeah, he'll probably never see a day. It's all about the timing.
Now, can a fallen president throw out a pardon?
I don't believe so. I think once you pardon, that's the benefit of the executive branch. And I don't think Biden will leave it up to Kamala to do, because I bet I'm sure. I mean, unless he thinks he can really, really trust her, because she'd be like, "Yeah, I got him, Joe. Don't worry about it." And she's like, "Yeah, f that dude," and just not do it and let him sit there. I think he would have to do it, but I don't think a president can throw out a pardon of another president. That's a one-time deal. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see who Biden does pardon, whether or not it's his son or whatever, before he leaves. Again, he's got nothing to lose, right? His own party has thrown him to the side. He literally could just damn near, if he wants, empty the prison. He could pardon every old crony he's got. Well, I don't know, right? Which he may need.
Do hundreds. He could do hundreds, literally.
He may need to start pardoning. I mean, maybe he'll start pardoning some of his friends in the Cuomo or the Hochul administration and Mayor Adams in New York City, because apparently, I mean, he had two more of his deputy mayors today house raided by the FBI. So, I mean, there's a lot of politic, a lot of corruption and possible criminal charges swirling around the New York governor and New York City mayor right now. So
is Hochul involved in this? I knew the mayor Adams was, but I didn't see anything about Hochul other than that Asian woman.
Or Chinese spy chief of staff. Yeah. Yeah. As you know, as being a chief of staff, I think yourself, and that's a pretty key position next to an executive. I mean, that is that right hand. That's that trusted advisor. That's everything. But yeah, that's pretty key, because you got one now, Feinstein, you got Swalwell, now you got Hochul. The Chinese are doing really good at planting their people next to Democratic elected leaders. That's all I'm going to say. They have gotten that. They are trained on that RTEP task. So yeah,
it's all that American money they're printing over there.
Yeah, but no. So it's we'll have to see who we part. But there's, I mean, look, a parent's love is for the most part pretty much unforgiving and always there, and you do anything for your kids and whatever, and even if people think you're a piece of crap and think you're two-faced and this kind of stuff, if I put yourself in that situation, I'd be like, okay, people can think whatever they want, but I'm not going to let my child rot in prison. I'll pardon them if I have the ability. I'll do whatever I have to do, even I know they did was bad, right? It just wouldn't do it. So if he doesn't pardon him, I will be flipping blown away. I mean, I will be seriously shocked. And if he does get convicted between now and then, he better hope that nothing happens to his dad before he can pardon him.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing that could he's at risk right now. But yeah, it is something. But I guess we're not going to get that. We're not going to get the Amber Heard kind of nightly trial buzz and media following, because we're not going to sit there and watch um, we're not going to sit there and watch Hunter Biden's entire life and decrepit shitty life be laid out in front of everybody in a courtroom. So
yeah, because it would take audience away from Kamala and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
any of us would care about it, but that's probably what they're figuring on. Somebody's made a deal with Hunter, take the plea, plead guilty, and down the road, there's something else. Something has to be going on behind it. Has to.
Yeah. Why would
I'm
he
not
do
a
this?
conspiracy
Save
theorist.
his family? To save his family? He's already talked crap about Jill. I mean, he's talked crap about his dad. We've got all the text messages. We got everything from the laptop. He talks about, he's talked complete trash and shit about his entire family. He sleeping with and screwing his dead brother's wife. I mean, the dude doesn't have a decent bone in his body or any bit of freaking, any decency. Like, he cares about dragging his family about I agree 110%. Somebody made him a deal and did their best to convince him that, don't worry, you're covered on this. Otherwise, he never would have did this. He would have went down fighting.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sergeant Major there said in the chat, yeah, I heard about that too. Waltz did get subpoenaed today by the House for I didn't know it was for school food fraud.
Yep.
Was Waltz taking was he taking extra snack cookies or something? I don't have any of the story in it. Do you have any
I don't know whether
story
he
on
was
what
taking
he's
it or he was misdirecting the funds to favored companies in some way. Could be that.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe he was taking them and feeding them over to the chow thief. I thought maybe
the Vindeman. Yeah, we got to feed Vindeman.
I thought maybe he's getting the Vindeman and like making sure, hey, we got some extra slices of pepperoni pizza today. But yeah, I did hear about that today. So I did not, with everything else going on. It was a quick snippet, but yeah, I did hear that he got subpoenaed. Of course, subpoena doesn't mean much, nothing. But it continues to show. Did you see the picture of his family, of his family in Nebraska with the waltzes for Trump?
Yep.
Apparently one's his brother. Because the DNC or the campaign tried to say no one recognized them. We don't know what family these are. These are extended family. No, one's his brother. And it was like, yeah. And he said something to the fact of, I'm not going to get into all the details, but I was a brother. But trust me, this is not the guy you want making decisions for this country based on things he's done in the past. And I think there's talk of trying to get his brother on stage with presidents. Nebraska.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking of North Dakota. Yeah. I think where they're originally from. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, it was about a dozen of them or so with Waltz for Trump T-shirts. I'm sure the Harris campaign was not happy about that at all. That does not look good when they're rooting for the other side. But
very poor vetting job by the very poor vetting job by the vetting job on Walls was very bad.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we've seen everything with everything that came out right after. I mean, when we talked about it, I think a few weeks ago when I had Toby on, Toby's on with me, the stories about him claiming to be a sergeant major and all that stuff. I mean, it came out in 2006, 2018, 2022, well before now. Right. So 3 other times it was in the news. His guys from his unit were talking about it, all that stuff. I don't think they didn't go past page 1 on a Google search or something. However, they vetted him. They did not look deep because this stuff didn't pop up well after he became the candidate. It'd been out there for a while, including within a year after he failed to deploy with his unit. It was covered by local papers and small papers in Minnesota and all that stuff, and it just wasn't hitting the national circuit. But I agree, they did not vet him at all. But who does Kamala got around her? I mean, and really, how much time do they have? she made a commitment that someone was going to be with her. Her candidate was going to be picked. I mean, and that's who she picked over a big field of them, but they didn't get the opportunity to vet probably any of them. They went for the homely, comfy guy versus Jewish guy, I guess is what they did. Did you like his explanation of why he said that? Because he had bad grammar. Bad grammar is like saying I ain't nothing but a sergeant major, right? And how bad is your grammar when you're a teacher? You're a
Yes,
high school teacher.
yes, you're great teacher from China.
Was his grammar better in Chinese? Maybe Mandarin. I don't know. Maybe he had better grammar in Mandarin. But it's like you're a school teacher. And by the way, then it comes out that they loved calling him coach, and I loved how it came out. Like, no, he's assistant coach till he got fired because he got DUI, but claimed that he was deaf. Is what he told the trooper. He couldn't hear him, and that's why he failed the field sobriety. But regardless of what he told the trooper and all that stuff, he still got fired as an assistant football coach. But on the night of the DNC, Kamala loved saying how he took his team to the state championship and did this and did that. It was just like, yeah, it ain't happening. But it's I think that campaign. I don't know what you're closer to this. I mean, is the honeymoon over yet?
I think so. I think it's very over. Maybe not for Kamala, but for Walz certainly. I think his honeymoon ended, on the second night when they didn't and couldn't defend him in any way, shape, or form. And they've just got nowhere to go. And with her ducking all the press conference requests, the ability of the press to talk to her, even when she does events, they won't let the press anywhere near her. It's just not a good look. But they don't care. This is basically Joe in the basement round 2. This time it's Kamala in the basement.
I mean, it worked in 2020.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
How do you like
that's going to happen here too?
How do you like the picture yesterday? She's walking up the stairs to the plane with her earbuds in, like she don't even have freaking AirPods. Like she's got wired in earbuds, and then she holds the phone up. I mean, the only thing would have been better was if the end of the earbuds was hanging down and not even plugged in the phone. But she's got an earbud and a phone outside the earbud.
Oh, I didn't notice that the wires weren't even plugged into the phone.
No, I'm saying that's the only thing that'd be better. I don't know if they were. I think they were, but like the only thing that would have made that more of just some fake bullshit would have been if they weren't even plugged in and they were just hanging down.
You know what? The thing about that picture, I don't think it was. And until you just mentioned that, I hadn't noticed. And I think that's why they had that caption: "Is somebody going to tell her, or who's going to tell her?" I'm going to go look that up.
Okay,
real quick
we got to find the picture now. We got to see it. You go look that up real quick. We don't have to rob with this, but yeah, it's I like so much. In fairness, the earbuds are playing "Breathe In, Breathe Out," so she doesn't suffocate. They may have been saying "Don't fall going up the stairs." They may have been one step in front of the other. Don't trip going up the stairs. That would have been
no. It is plugged in. I got the picture here. But you're right. She's got the wired one.
I would thought some internet sleuth would have called that out in a heartbeat. But if now what's going on with the McDonald's thing? I've saw the video. Have they proven that she never worked at McDonald's? What's the scandal around?
No proof that she ever drew a paycheck from McDonald's.
I mean, I worked at McDonald's when I was in high school. I'll tell people about it, but it's not something I ever bragged about, nor did it give me any kind of street cred, except that maybe I could hook you up with some nuggies and maybe a hot apple pie at the end of the night, right? I just say I used to take care of my parents a lot. My dad used to give me his order before I went to work. But
how long did you work there?
I don't know, a couple of years in high school. It was one of many jobs I had, but it was not something like, that wasn't like, when I got to my first unit out of basic and they're like, "Where are you from? What'd you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I went to Airborne School. Went to high school." And I said, "Oh, I worked at McDonald's." That did not get me any like, "Oh shit, we're just going to make you the squad leader." Like that doesn't do anything for you. So her running mate her running mate lies about being a combat veteran and a sergeant major. She lies about working at McDonald's. Like, I could see why he would lie about one thing. I don't know what that's supposed to get her. Is that supposed to make her closer to the people? Is that what that's supposed to do? Is like, I'm one of
It's supposed
you.
to,
I work the
she's the
minimum wage.
it's this common man theme that they're trying to push. Wall served his country. She grew up out of poverty and middle class America, working at McDonald's. Although her parents were both, I wouldn't call them exactly wealthy, but they were certainly not poor, and they lived in the great areas of town wherever they were living.
Did they have McDonald's in Canada? Because she was raised in Canada, from what I understand.
If she'd have
She
said
was
Tim
raised.
Hortons, she might have gotten away with it.
You know what else is interesting about her? I found out last week. You know where her dad lives?
Now?
Yeah,
No.
within a mile of the house she lives in as the vice president. He lives in D.C. Has never visited her. They don't talk at all. They don't get along at all. He has never visited her there as the VP. He lives within a mile of the executive mansion where the vice president lives. Um, he made a comment one time about I don't know the term. Someone would find it. I just read it. Not reprehensible. Something he said about her, and I think he said it because he's a Marxist. He's anti-government and all that stuff, and he doesn't like that she is a government official. But I just read that story last week. Yeah, that he lives in a mile, has never come to see her, has never talked to her or whatever. They love touting that, she's the daughter of this Berkeley math professor, super smart dude from Jamaica and all that stuff. Yeah, they don't get along. And his own daughter is the first vice president of any, and the dude won't even go see her. So, and he did raise her in Canada. So I don't know if they were kind of McDonald's. Maybe it was a Timmy Ho's. Maybe she worked at Timmy Ho's. She messed it up. She was working at Tim Hortons. She thought it was McDonald's. She was serving double doubles. That's what it was. That's what it was. She was serving 10 bits and double doubles for Canadian minimum wage, whatever that is. That could have been it, but it ain't nothing but lies. Ain't nothing but lies. But yeah. So what else you got, man? We got about 10 minutes left. We've been rambling on a few things. What other big news events are coming, or what should we know about or keep an eye out for?
Well, seeing as how my life is completely revolving around politics, it's just been crazy. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the veteran vote, and this is something that concerns me a great deal. And I'm hoping that the veterans out there can let me on to why they would consider voting for Kamala or not showing up to vote for Trump. When right now, the last thing that I saw is Trump was 19 points favored in 2016 over Clinton. He's only 10 points favored over Kamala right now. And
Is
in
this on against
2020,
the veteran community?
this is the veteran vote. And I can't for the life of me understand why that is. That is anathema to me, the way that they are these days and the policies that they want, that any veteran would even consider it. I don't get it. I'd like someone out there to learn me some knowledge on this.
Well, we do know there's an organization called Vote Vets.
Yep.
That is about as left leaning as can be. And obviously the military, much like the rest of the federal government, they all don't necessarily vote or support whoever's in office just because they work for the government. But yes, I would say the military overwhelmingly supports President Trump. I just wonder though, is it that as well as I do, and if not better than I do, that polls can easily be slanted depending on who their sample population is. I will tell you, I don't know if I've talked on the show before, but if not, I will enlighten a few people that are the people that are listening and watching. So pollsters call the house all the time, right? I live in a state of New York. They always call about this and that, whatever. I don't answer the phone. I don't even know why we have a landline. I don't answer it. I have a cell phone that I've had for years, and that people that get a hold of me call me there. Well, they'll call the house. My wonderful wife, who will answer the phone and entertain them and go through the whole polling process. And on more than one occasion, when they've asked her all these questions, whatever they ask, and this is for local elections, down ballot stuff, state elections, federal election, right? This is in 2020 and all that time. They'll go through a whole bunch of questions, and usually at the end they will ask, like, are you a registered, what party you registered with, or who are you going to vote for president, or whatever. On more than one occasion, when she says, if she says I'm going to vote for President Trump, or I'm going to vote this way, or I'm a conservative, or I'm a this or that, either the phone call gets dropped. They say, oh, but we got bad data. Oh, look at my thing is doing, I don't know what that is, some stuff. I just saw that. But
I've never
the
seen that
call
before.
will get dropped. They'll say that there was a bad connection. They couldn't hear that, and it's void, this and that, whatever. And they'll just drop the call. That sampling gets thrown out. So this is what they do. And it's happened more than once to know this is a valid way. Again, this is on downs. This is local elections and everything. Would you vote for this? What do you think about this? And they'll say, what do you, how do you align yourself? Who do you, this and that, whatever. What are you registered as? And more than once, I don't know how many, sometimes they go all the way through, but enough that it's gotten my attention to realize what they do. They didn't get the answers they want. They drop the call. They have to get another sampling. Wow. So if it's happening here in my house, I'm not being targeted. I can only say, if you extrapolate that across the country, that's what's happening. So when, if they're sampling veterans, most are probably, I'm going to assume, are probably like me. I pick up the phone, it's like, hey, we're interested. And I click. I don't even want to talk to them. I don't have time. I'm busy. Right? How many aren't answering the call? How many aren't taking it? And how many are saying things that pollster doesn't want because they've got an agenda, because they're trying to, there are some good pollsters out there, reputable polls that are doing things and trying to get a true snapshot of how this country thinks about people and topics and whatever. But there's also those that are pushing an agenda to support a narrative. And if they don't get the sample they want, they throw the sample out. So, well, I don't know if that's the answer to your veterans.
I've hired some of those high-powered pollsters, and I do know that they can do well, but it's all what the client wants or what they want to push. For them to be doing it other ways, there's somebody behind that, and looking for that, and that's what they're trying to do. I was going to ask you.
Most of the media is let me ask you though, if most of the media is left-leaning, and they're doing the ABC poll and the CNN poll and this kind of poll, I mean, they're already slanted heavy one way or another.
Sampling, D+20 or D+16 or something like that. That's correct. That's right.
What were you going to ask me?
What were you going to do with all this Russia money that they gave you as a right-wing influencer for, pushing for Trump?
Dude,
can you believe this story?
I got a nice microphone. I don't know. I got me a good Bills hat. I mean, I don't know what money. I didn't get. Someone didn't give me that. I didn't get an invite. I don't know what they're talking about. Is that what the new stick is? That anyone that's supporting President Trump is getting paid off?
They're getting paid off by the Russians to do it, and it was done, covertly. They didn't identify themselves, so that's what they're trying to push it to make it more acceptable, I guess. That this is how they were conducting it.
We here at Stu and the Nunn have always accepted donations. We have a donation thing on our website. We would gladly take, and we won't ask any questions. The donator the last name could be Gotti. It could be whatever. It could be, we'll take donations to help support the show because we have to pay for everything ourselves. No one has made any donations to us. So I don't think we're part of the Russian covert influence campaign, nor do I have any Chinese nationals near me that could possibly be found to be traitors and spies for China. So I'm clear on both of those.
I just thought it was outrageous. It's for them to even make the claim, because most of those guys are a lot smarter than that.
I mean, who do they think they're paying off Elon? Do they think he needs his money? I mean, what are they saying? I mean, I don't see any conservative podcasters or bloggers or anything like that are just rolling in the dough. I mean, if the guys that are doing well are the ones that are usually have shooting ranges and they cover guns, or they do cool, fun stuff like that. And they put a lot of YouTube videos together and that kind of stuff. Not folks talking about politics and current events and first responder militaries and foreign national policy, that nobody's making money on that. Not if your name's not Rogan or somebody like that. And that boy, he ain't conservative. He's not pushing any one narrative, Yeah, Theo Vaughn isn't. I mean, some great interviews, but yeah, no, I hadn't heard about that. I need to sign up to the right podcast thing. Maybe I need a new
You're the
QR
wrong
code.
kind of influencer.
But I am the wrong kind of influencer. I'm not influenced much of nothing. Yeah. But what I can influence is making sure that people check out the Sawbucks for Service Dog raffle. I want to pimp that out again for our boy Chuck, putting it back in the comments, that everyone sees that. Check them out. Get your tickets, $10 each. You can get 11 for $100. Again, 6-hour, brand new, We the People 45 in a case, extra mag. I've seen great pictures of it. Donated from a very, very good friend of Wolf's and mine, and a hunting trip in Argentina for doves, dove hunting, and a 45. Says We the People, $10 ticket, best $10 you ever spent, worth it. There's the link. Check it out. Get your raffle tickets today. Support the Hero Labradors, and do that. Make sure you also support. This is advertiser time. Alpha Elite Performance, Alpha Elite. I get all my supplements from there. Get all my pre-workout, everything. Check out our buddy Travis over there. We've had him on the show a number of times. Retired Green Beret, doing great things. Solid supplements there if you're into that for working out, and sleep aids and all kind of stuff. Alpha Elite gear for grunts. Boohammer.com. Make sure you get when you go down for that dove hunt, you may need some extra mags. I don't know if you could. I guess it's probably shotgun. You can't hunt with an AR down there. I guess you don't hunt doves with AR, but still may need some mags. Get your mag holders at Gear for Grunts. And now Marvita Sport Fishing. I got to change the logo. My boy Toby's slipping. It is no longer Red Rum. It is Marvita, which is Spanish for sea life. Very appropriate. Marvita
nice.
Sport Fishing in Cabo San Lucas. Yes. So we'll have those logos up soon, but I want to make sure I give a big plug to our advertisers there, and all that. Wolf, anything else before I let you go for the night? We're coming up on an hour.
I just wanted to ask you what you're talking about. Your next hunting's coming up. What's the first season you're going to be going into? What's coming up?
I'm hunting deer in a week.
Oh wow, bow hunting?
No, it's early doe. I can shoot whatever I want. And it's a special early season in the state of New York. They try to get rid of some doe before the rut, and I will literally a week from tomorrow I'll be heading out to where I go hunt to get ready to hunt that's opening weekend. So this is the first hunting of the season for deer, and it'll be next weekend. Does only, shoot whatever I want. So
what's the limit?
I got 2 doe tags now. I can fill both those. I'll get 2 more doe tags in November. And then I'm in the regular season. But yeah, it's the first one. And then October, I have an early muzzleloader hunt up in the Adirondacks. I always do that one. And that's just for one up there, any type, muzzleloader only. And then November will be regular hunting season. So yeah, it is getting into that time. So
I need to get up there one of these times.
These will be changing. The brisk mornings are starting to happen already. And yeah, dude, you're always welcome. But come on up here, and I knock 7 or 8 down a year, so I donate most of them away. You don't have to hunt. I'll just give you a whole damn deer if you want. Come up here and grab it. I mean, I donate them to the hunger program. I give them to friends that want them.
Wow.
Me and the wife are empty nesters. We can only eat a couple of deer a year. I mean, I can't, But
if I go hunting, the wife will absolutely want to be going too. She will not let me go out by myself.
Well, that's all right, because new deer hunters, when they go, especially if they get one, there's a couple traditions.
Yep.
And they get a little blood on the cheeks there. They gotta and stuff. But yeah, I'll tell you what, my September deer, ones that I turn into Italian sausage and breakfast sausage. I do it all myself. I process everything. So if I get 1 or 2 next weekend, there's going to be a lot of sweet and hot Italian sausage and breakfast sausage and jerky being made. So my food's all organic from God's refrigerator. So
and gluten free.
gluten-free, MSG-free, fat-free, sugar-free, whatever free you want. Hell, if you want to be a vegan, we can call it meat-free too, because they eat veggies. So I'm trying to save your food if you're a vegetarian by killing those nasty deer that try to eat it all up. So there you go. All right, buddy. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for a great night.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Wolf. Thanks for everyone that tuned in, watching, listening. I see a lot of chatter, and everybody have a good one. Don't forget, next week, 9/11. We'll be talking about that next week. I'll be on the road, but I'm going to be doing a couple special things as we honor the end this sad but honorable anniversary coming up next week. So, thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody.